I don't know about you guys, but I am excited because it is almost time for the NFL draft. We've been waiting for this since damn near what, February? I don't know about you guys, but it is time. I've been doing so many mocks. Today we're going to do a mock for a 2 quarterback league for rookies. And during this mock draft, I'll talk about some players I really love, some players I am fading, some players who are sleepers. Let's be real, guys. Your Dynasty League rookie draft is not just 2 rounds. Most people are focusing on 2 rounds. You have to understand that there may be some gems late that will have an impact on your team this season. So you have to prepare and know who to draft late as well, because you don't want to just blow picks late. And I honestly believe round 3 is going to be a very good round. So if you have picks in the round 3, you'll get some really good gems in this draft. Let's get ready to do this.
Welcome to the Blown Coverage Fantasy Football Podcast with Waiver Wire Queen.
All right, y'all. So again, today we are going to do a super flex, 2 quarterback rookie mock draft. I'll give you some players that I really like, players I'm fading, some sleepers. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Let's get into this. Let's just do this. So for this 2 quarterback league, we are hosting on the Sleeper app, and this is a 10-team league. We actually start defensive players as well. However, I don't anticipate anyone drafting any of the defensive players in this draft, but nonetheless, there are some teams at the top of this draft who need quarterbacks. But honestly, as I do more research and get closer to the draft, my heart is simply not with the quarterback position. Maybe mid first, late first round, but for this draft, there are some people who are considering trading back or trading out of the first round and looking forward to the 2023 draft. But we got to understand this draft has some really good players. It's very deep at the wide receiver and running back position. And I honestly feel like at least 2 of these quarterbacks are going to come out on top, meaning they are going to be very productive from a fantasy standpoint for us. We don't care if they are producing at the NFL level where they where teams would want them to be. But if they are producing from a fantasy standpoint, we want those guys. Look at Jalen Hurts. He's not somebody I would want as my starting quarterback in the NFL, but he is somebody I wouldn't mind having in my fantasy league. I had him in a redraft league last year, and he really helped me out. But when it came to being on the field, he wasn't even throwing for 200 yards in some games. So he has great legs. He's going to get a lot of his points on the ground. But again, from a fantasy standpoint, that's great. You know, if he can get us 25, 30 points, we're happy with that. But nonetheless, we're going to get ready to do this mock draft. And again, I will let you know some players that I am fading in this draft and some players that I absolutely love. So for this draft, pretty much the individual picking first has let us know that when he drafts, he's going to pick Malik Willis with the first pick, and he also has the 4th pick in this first round. He's picking Kenny Pickett. So that is on him. I honestly think, again, guys, this is one of the main things you have to consider when you are in a league. Don't approach your draft and don't approach the league as if you are in another league. Every league is different. One, picks may be valued differently. Trades are assessed differently. The value of players are different in different leagues. So you don't want to necessarily approach a league with the same mindset you approach another league, because you may ruin your team. So what we're going to do, since we know what he's going to do with the first pick, we are going to set that player. Now, I really like Malik Willis as obviously the best quarterback in this draft. hands down, he has the tools. The thing is, can he put it all together? I honestly feel like destination is going to be important for him. I would love to see Malik Willis be drafted to the Pittsburgh Steelers because they have stability. Stability is very important for any of these quarterbacks coming out of this draft class. And Pittsburgh presents stability. Obviously, we know that Mitch Trubisky is not the long-term solution at quarterback. But if any of these guys are drafted by Pittsburgh, they can sit and learn and watch and absorb everything, and then you know pretty much get ready for the next season.
Oh, come on, dude.
So I don't want to, see this young man go to a team, and because the organization is unstable, they're constantly changing offensive coordinators, head coaching is unstable, because that will ruin a young quarterback's career. You need stability. And again, more importantly, for this draft. Now, I don't know what's going to happen at pick number 2, but what I will say is that we're just going to let him go. I think for pick number 2, this individual should be targeting a quarterback in this league, or just to get young. And obviously, with a rookie draft, you can get young. I don't think Kenny Pickett will be a good pick here. He is an older quarterback, and to me, he has some serious bust potential just because the ceiling is not high at all. He's at that age where it's like you either have it or you don't, and there's not much more room for improvement due to age. So let's get ready to do this. And again, at pick number 4, we're going to stop, and we are going to pretty much pick Kenny for this individual. So let's do this. So we paused it here, and this is just so we can make the pick for this individual. And again, this person says they're going with Kenny. Now, I don't think this is a good move, because I just don't feel like he's approaching this league in the manner that he should. He's approaching this league like other leagues. He's approaching this league like some of the other leagues that we're in. And again, that's just obviously not the way you want to approach your league. Again, approaching a league the way you approach another league may ruin your team, and you'll find out that it's not going to work, and you end up missing out on players that you probably should be drafting, because you're drafting players because of their, because of what you were doing in another league. And that's just, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Every league is different. That is very important to remember. Okay. So now we'll pause again here. So for me, okay, we're going to pause because at pick 5, that's another player that was picked for. They were going with Chris Olave, so we're going to pick him there if it'll allow me to. So yeah.
Wow.
So this individual, he feels like, okay, Drake London, Olave are the best wide receivers. He was going with Olave here. So these are really good picks here. In regards to my top rankings at the running back position, so I'll do the top 2 obviously are Breece Hall, Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker has a little more to offer than what we're hearing, in my opinion. I'm a person who likes to watch. I need to see it. And sometimes a player may not test well at, during tests, like, you may be smart as hell, but you're just not a good test taker. He had a solid combine, but again, most are saying that he's not a pass catching back. Okay, that's fine, but sometimes you got to look at the situation an individual is in, and that may determine, why they're not getting the targets or not. I think he'll see a little bit more at the NFL level. I do believe a team like Houston should be checking for him. Um, that will be a really good location. Although they signed Marlon Mack, I still feel like this will be a good move for Houston. So now I am picking at number 8. I have 2 picks in the first round. I have 8 and number 10. Um, I could just use talent. I won this league. That's right, y'all. Waiver Wire Queen won this league, so I can pretty much just use talent, and that's pretty much all I am focused on is the talent factor here. And I'm just gonna add a player who I feel is going to bring value to my team. I really like Garrett Wilson, but the top 2 wide receivers I really like. I like London. I like Olave. I have those 2 along with Wilson ahead of Burks, in my opinion. I also could use a running back. I also could use a quarterback. There's no quarterback that I really value at this pick right now, and I don't necessarily need a quarterback. I need a tight end, but I don't feel like that position has value at the at 108. So what I'm gonna do is just gonna go Garrett Wilson. And again, I have picked 10 to end the first round. And again, I'm just looking to add young talent to my team. I have some young players. I am set at quarterback, but again, this is a 2 quarterback league. I have Mahomes and I also have Joe Burrow. And I made this big blockbuster trade and acquired Tannehill, Kamara, and some other assets. But pick 201. Thing is, I just want to add more young talent to my team because again, when you're in a dynasty league, the first thing you have to understand is this is not redraft. So you cannot approach your draft as if this is redraft. So again, I'm looking for talent. In a 2 quarterback league or a super flex league, you should have a minimum of 3 starting quarterbacks on your team. Just my opinion. Now, I'm gonna add this young man right here. Again, I love my these young wide receivers here. James Williams could be one of the top 3 wide receivers in this draft, but he got hurt. I was watching that game. Unfortunate, but the kid is talented. One of the big things is he can run routes. He's not just someone who is fast and is going to burn you deep downfield. He can run routes. So that is going to go a long way. So don't be surprised if this young man turns out to be one of the best players in this draft. So again, let's look. So right here, I can go with Matt Corral, Sam Howell, and Desmond Ridder. Honestly, I'm just gonna do this right here. Player I really like in this draft. I like Desmond Ridder. I'm hoping that he ends up on a team like Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is a very good team. And also I wouldn't mind seeing him on a team like I want to say Seattle. Again, I'm looking for when I'm thinking of landing spots for these players, I'm thinking of teams that are stable. So these young guys have the chance. They're already behind, right? They're already trying to reach for the stars because we've already written all of the quarterbacks off in this draft. I heard someone say, "Oh, Malik Willis is a running back." I'm tired of hearing that from a lot of our young quarterbacks. Give the guy a chance. He's not a running back, okay? He's going to be very solid. It's just, do you want to invest the draft capital in a player that he can end up being great, but there's a lot of uncertainty there. For me, in my other league, it's a rebuild league. I have 2 picks in the top 3. I have pick 2 and pick 3. I need a quarterback, but I also need other things. So and it's a super flex league. So I know I should be taking him, but I also know that I have so many holes and I'm looking for the players who I know there's not going to be any issues with. I don't know if he's going to be good. I'm hoping he is. He has the tools to be great. Very good arm, but the question is, can he do it? And he can run the hell out of the ball. So that is also a plus in fantasy. But the question is he going to reach his potential? When, I'm looking at it from an NFL standpoint and they're saying Jalen Hurts, I'm not happy with that because I'm like, I know what from an NFL standpoint Jalen Hurts has done. From a fantasy standpoint, yes, that's great. But from an NFL standpoint, that will end soon. Philly may be coming out saying that Hurts is their guy, but you keep hearing behind the scenes or the low key that they're still looking. So when there's a lot of doubt like that, for me, if I have quarterbacks on the team that I can rely on, then I'm not gonna pick a quarterback that high. Like, I would wait and I would take a chance on Desmond Ritter, who like I said, I really like. He is one of my we might as well talk about him. He's one of my quarterbacks who I really love in this draft. Obviously, everyone loves Malik Willis. Yes, we do. I really love Desmond Ritter. He has the tools to be successful. It's all about destination. That is going to be important. That's with anything. Y'all know how it is when you start out at a company and you are talented as hell and you got to just do everything. You got to do everything. They don't give you the tools to succeed. And so now you're struggling. Well, that can be the case here. If you're not giving these guys the tools to succeed, then they may struggle. If you put a player who has talent in a situation where it's stable, they're going to give you the time to grow, then guess what? A lot of times, 9 times out of 10, you may be successful. And that's just what has to happen here. I done talked y'all heads off a lot. So let me tell y'all about another I'll do at the running back position. So let's see. Again, I can use to add another running back. I have 2 more picks in this second round, and I don't have a pick again until the 4th round. So I do need a tight end. So I'm going to have to look at tight end early. But I also know that I have 2 picks. I have 8 and 10. So I don't necessarily have to take a tight end here. I'm not going to take another wide receiver because I've already taken 2, and I know that I do want to come away in this draft filling the position of need. So I really like Rashad White. He was another player who I love in this draft. And I love him in the 2nd round, mid to late 2nd round. So I'm gonna take him here, and then we're gonna get this draft back going. Okay, so I really like him. And then another player I like, so I'm honestly gonna have to take my tight end here. There are a lot of good players still on the board, but I don't pick until the 4th round. So I'm doing this mock as if it's our real mock. I know for the purposes of this mock, I can just take one of the best available, but I'm trying to be realistic. And realistically, the tight end that I want to grab is not going to be here because you already see one tight end is gone. So I'm going to take Isaiah Likely. I really like Isaiah Likely. Okay, let's talk about one of my favorite wide receivers in this draft, obviously, is Chris Olave. He has the potential to be the best wide receiver in this draft. So he's somebody who I'm looking at and I'm like, okay, potential. When you are drafting players in your dynasty league, you're looking at potential as well. There are a lot of really good players on the board. Now, we are in a league that you have to draft individual defensive players. However, trust when I tell you, all of these defensive players that went, that's not going to be the case in our draft. Not most of you may see one defensive player, if any, most likely not. However, you're not going to see it for the most part. So I say avoid it. So what can I do here? All right. I added a quarterback. I'm coming away in this draft with everything that I need, and I'm pretty pleased with what I am looking for. Here's another player who I absolutely love. Greg Doltich. Another player I really love in this draft. Tight end position is not as deep. You only got about 4 or 5 tight ends, and that goes down to Rucker. Now, some of these players, it depends on destination. There's no Kyle Pitts here, so if you're looking for Kyle Pitts, there won't be any. But he's a tight end who will be very productive, and if you can take him late, then you definitely should. Now, in a 2 tight end league, he may go a little bit early. Like I said, I don't feel like any of these tight ends should be going in the 1st round, but someone may reach because they need a tight end. Like if you say you have a pick in the late pick in the 1st round, but you don't have any more picks until the end, which hopefully that's not the case. Somebody may reach. I don't recommend taking a tight end in the first round, whether it's a 2 tight end league or not. I just don't think the class is that strong for you to do so. But if you do so, you're going to have to live with it. Don't reach. Do not reach because it's going to hurt you. Sometimes when you reach, then you look up when you are picking, say in the third round, that those players could have been there and most likely will be. Now, McBride is most likely going to go somewhere in the second round of this draft in any of the 2 tight end leagues. However, there are still other tight ends. I really like Likely. You know, some people have Likely ahead of McBride. So McBride went first, but if some people are thinking Likely is the best tight end and you got him at the end of the second, then you got the best tight end at the end of the second round and you didn't reach. Don't reach for a tight end in this draft. Okay, just don't. And understand also wide receiver, running back, very, very tight, very, very deep. Now let's just pick a player. So I have so many players I can choose from. You see Carson Strong, he's a player I like late. Again, when you are drafting, you're not just drafting in round 1 and round 2. There are rounds 3, 4, and 5 in most leagues. Also, there are leagues that are deeper than this. Like this is 10 teams. There are teams that are 12 leagues that are 12 and 14. So you're gonna have to be realistic about things. Stop doing your mocks as if you're gonna have a super team when you finish your mock draft. Do your mock drafts and be realistic about them because you don't want to be disappointed when you come out of your draft. So be realistic about what's going to happen. By now, you should know how people move in your leagues. So let's just get this pick on, y'all. Here's a player I really like. This is one of my sleepers, Jerome Ford. Okay. Very, very good. I don't care what anybody says. I like Jerome Ford. Okay. I just simply do. Better than what most people are saying. Very explosive. Okay. Let's be real. He ran a 4.46, which isn't bad. 5'11, a little on the short end for me, but he's definitely someone who you can get late in your draft. And to me, it will pay off. Again, you are not building your team based on just the first 2 rounds. There are more rounds to it, and you can get some really good players who will help your team long term in the 3rd, 4th round. I don't know about the 5th, maybe early on in the 5th, it just depends on how deep your league. But rounds 3 and 4, there are going to be some really good players still available. And you're going to be like, I did the right thing and held on to my picks. And this is where I'm going to make my money in this draft. Obviously, the top guys, you know where they're going to go. But it's these other guys who people are kind of sleeping on, and they're going to help your team. So in this draft, I have several options, but I want to be realistic. Again, all of these defensive players will not be here. Jerome Ford will be here. I really like him. Pierre Strong, another player I like. He will be here. I don't believe Christian Watson will be here. And I'll say that based on his landing spot. So if he was to be drafted by the Chiefs, he's not going to be here. Someone's going to reach for the stars and pick him in the first round if he's drafted by the Chiefs. Now I have Mahomes in this league, but I'm not going to be reaching for him. I'm going to stick to the script. I like Sky Moore. Alec Pierce is a very intriguing player, tall and fast as hell. Very intriguing. So check for him. And another player I really like, Khalil Shakir late. He's fast, 4.43. I just feel like he's gonna be that Amon Ra St. Brown. He's gonna be that guy, but slightly better. So if you can get him late, I don't know if it's gonna be at the end of the 3rd, like this league that I'm looking at him in. It's a very deep league. It's about 16 teams. Yeah, 16. So you got to do your research. If you're in a league that is very deep where you have 14 and 16 teams, these are some players that you have to know. You have to know these guys. Okay. Tight ends. Jeremy Rucker is another one. So check for him. But again, I do have to make a pick. And since I really do need to add I can either go 2 ways here. I can either add another running back or I can add a tight end. Let's see what I have. So far I have Ritter, Rashad White, Wilson, James on Williams, and Isaiah Likely. So I can either add another running back or add a tight end. I really like Greg, so I may go there or again Ford. But what I'm gonna do here is because I need another tight end. Again, I'm being realistic. I'm being realistic to where these guys, Watson is going to be gone. I'm not really high on Michi. I'm just staying away from him. I'm just not. Tolbert is another player I believe is going to be gone. He's going to be good. So I'm just gonna approach it as if I'm gonna add my other tight end here because I needed another tight end in this draft. And that's just what it is. Let's look at my team. Again, I was trying to be realistic as possible. Ritter, White, Wilson, Williams, Likely, and Dolchich. Not a bad draft. Again, when you're doing your mock drafts, please try to make it as realistic as possible because you don't want to be doing these mock drafts where you're making these super teams based on your rookies. That's just unrealistic and it's not going to happen. Be realistic so you know when you do your real draft, okay, this is what's expected. Don't go in there thinking you're going to get all the top players as if no one else is drafting like the computer's drafting for everyone because that's not going to happen. So definitely understand that. Some players that I am fading, player who I really like early on, Isaiah Spiller, and I liked him before the season started, but just doesn't look explosive to me. And I'm not even looking at combine or his drills, what he did. I am because injured. He was injured, so you can't really go off of that with the drills. Didn't do anything with the combine, but with the drills, you can't look at it. Just doesn't look that explosive on film. I don't care. Film is very important. Analytics is important as well. And when you combine the two, he's just not someone I'm fading him pretty much. He's not somebody that I'm drafting high in the first round. Like for me, it's a no. You know, the two running backs I would covet the most, obviously, in this draft are the top two, Hall and Walker. And I really like Rashad. I like Rashad White as well. So, and there's some other ones. I like Cook. He's gonna be solid. I like backs who can catch the ball. I also like Zamir White. So again, there are a lot of running backs in this draft. So if you feel like you are not high on Spiller, then there are some other running backs you can get. And also it's about destination. So you got to keep that in mind because some of these guys may go to horrible situations, which may hurt their potential early on. So you got to consider that as well. And Kenny Pickett, I am fading. I am looking at him like it's a no for me because in a dynasty league, I'm looking at age. He's 23 years old. That is the biggest issue for me. And I just can't do late bloomers and then you're 23, you break out late pretty much, and you're 23. Like that's older than some of the quarterbacks that we drafted last year. And I just think that it's all going to depend on location. If he goes to Carolina, I don't think it's going to work in his favor because again, they're going to be playing games with Darnold, and then if Darnold ain't doing, let's put Kenny in, and then CMC say he's not healthy. I just think in order for him to be successful, it needs to be a situation that is stable, which means the Steelers. If nothing else, the Steelers would be the perfect situation for him because one, the coach is going to be there with the Panthers. Rule is most likely out if he doesn't identify the quarterback and they start winning more games. So it's a no for me. A huge hell no, y'all. Don't do it. Like I said, this guy is reaching for him with pick 4 when you have all of this talent on the board. Go ahead and do it, because I'll just pick some of these talented players right after. Just no, you don't have to reach for players in your drafts. Again, know your leagues, know what everybody else is doing, know how to play the game in that league. Obviously, you gotta know how to play the game. Okay, so don't do it. And that is a recipe for success, guys. Don't do it. All right, y'all. So that was my mock, and those are the players that I am checking for in the 2022 rookie draft. But again, it depends on the league as well. I'm in a few different leagues, and I'm approaching each draft differently based on my team needs, my records, obviously, and then how the league is set up. I'm in one league that we don't draft until August, and it's more like a redraft, even though it's a dynasty league. So I don't have to worry about that right now. And I'm in 3 other dynasty leagues. 2 will be drafting after the draft. Again, I do recommend that you wait until after the NFL draft, because it gives you an idea of where players are going and how you should move. Okay. But again, one of the main things you do not want to do is reach. Don't reach, because reaching will ruin your dynasty team. Nothing like picking Kenny with pick number 2, and it's like, okay, ooh, you left Brees all on the board. I don't care if it's a super flex or a 2 quarterback league. Kenny is not a number 2. Don't do it, because you're gonna be chasing, trying to make up for that pick every draft. So you gotta be smart and strategic about how you move in your drafts. And also, when you are approaching these drafts, again, don't think about what you do in another league, because it's not going to apply to another league. Every league is different, and you have to treat it as such. All right, y'all. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and make sure you hit that like button. Also, let me know what you think I should do with pick number 8 and pick number 10 in my 2 quarterback rookie draft. Keep in mind, I have Mahomes, and I also have Joe Burrow, and I have Cooper Kupp and CeeDee Lamb and Najee Harris as my building blocks. And I have Darren Waller as my tight end. So let me know what you think I should do. To me, these are more luxury picks. I do have some good players coming off my bench, which helps, because I have Judy, I have Mooney. I can get a little stronger at that running back position, and I want to add another young quarterback. So let me know which quarterback you think I should be checking for. Peace.
Welcome to the Blown Coverage Fantasy Football Podcast with Waiver Wire Queen.